I also wanted to tell you about a comic book that I read. I don't always get to do this. I don't always do them in line. Usually it's a recording, and I just kind of splice it in there and drop it in. Or you get to go have to go find it yourself if it's one of those really long-winded ones. But I thought I would take a minute to point this one out, just because this one was a little bit fun, and it's a name and a subject and thing that of things that people around here will be familiar with and will understand and may have a little bit of interest in from the fun side of things. Uh, I hope you are still having some fun out there. Charlamagne the God presents ILLuminati. It's on AWA Studios. It's written by Bryan Edward Hill, and you would know him, I would think, most likely from either Black Panther or his work on Postal. And Postal was really, really well received, and Ultimate Black Panther is currently running and is one of the great Marvel titles. There's only a handful of them at any given time, and all the Ultimate stuff right now by Marvel is really doing well, and it's being well managed. It's well written, and the art is great, and the stories are keeping people interested. And Marvel doesn't necessarily do that because Marvel is a corporation. It is not a place that cares about creators or the art that they create beyond what it can make them in money. Let's not fool ourselves into believing anything but that, because that is absolutely a fact. But just Bryan Edward Hill, he's been around forever. I mean, he's a musician, he's an author, a screenwriter, he's just known for so many different things. Art by Dennis Cowan, and he's another one that's just been around for decades, like 1980, doing bits for Weird War Tales, and then I wrote the question for a number of years, and he was also the senior vice president of animation for BET, which means that he was one of the guys that was integral in creating or bringing Boondocks to television, to a cartoon form. Of course, Boondocks had been a comic news strip, a newspaper comic strip for a long time, a very long time, and a very, very long time. And, and Huey Freeman, he's against the man. He's fighting against the man. No, Boondocks, just one of the great cartoons across the board. The cartoon, the original cartoon strips, all of it. Just a fantastic series, and Dennis Cowan is a part of that. And then you have Bill Sienkiewicz on the inking on this, and Bill is a personal favorite of mine. Again, another guy that's just been around the industry for decades and is absolutely fully respected. I mean, seriously, how could with names like these, Charlemagne back in it, you got Sienkiewicz, and you got Cohen, and you got Hill, you got all these guys with all this history and all this weight. They all carry all this weight, and they're making this book. Of course, I'm going to jump in there, and I'm not going to be disappointed. Right? There's no chance I'd be disappointed. So just that sets up a fantastic work, or what it should be. And I don't know. I think it was. Janice is dead. Another apparent victim of the Hollywood lifestyle. But her sister Lily has a feeling that there's more to it than that, and she has that feeling before she ever sees her sister's ghost, and her ghost tells her as much. And then she also receives a mysterious note, and it's from this friend of her sister, and so she decides, and there's a number on it that says, "Give me a call. I was your sister's friend." And so she does. She calls this number up, and it turns out it's this rich music producer, and she meets with him, and he's wanting her. It's all weird. It's real weird. She gets a weird feeling from it all as well. he's wanting her to go ahead and complete her twin sister's work. Yeah, they're twins, right? No spoilers, not really. I try to avoid them. I don't know, the last thing, the last one that I did about Jay and Silent Bob. I may have talked about that one too much. I may have spoiled the hell out of that one. But that was just such a fun read. And it's Jay and Silent Bob in an Archie comic. How much can you expect from it? How much is really going to be a spoiler, and how much of it is just, oh yeah, it's Jay and Silent Bob. Oh yeah, it's Archie. At any rate, no spoil. I try to avoid the spoilers. And so she goes and she meets with this producer, and he wants her to pick up where her twin left off. And apparently, they're both very musically inclined, and he just thought it would be this cathartic thing, celebrating her life, being able to finish this album that she worked on. She's this pop star. That's the whole pop star gets eaten up by Hollywood kind of thing. Uh, and just wants her to pick up where she left off recording that album, and she bails out on that, and there's some other strangers and people that she meets in there that try to send her in one direction or another in the relation to this, and she knows she's in danger, but after meeting this guy, she knows she wants a piece of this, but not in that sense. She wants to know who killed her sister, and she is willing to face the danger to go and find that out. That's ILLuminati #1. It's one of a 5-parter. It's on AWA. It's in your local comic shops right now, and it was a great read, and I'm looking forward to the next one. If you can't get yours, if you've got those problems, hit me up, AmazingFantasies.com, or better yet, stop in the store sometime here in Topeka, Kansas, and say hi to us and let us know that you're out there. Let me know that you heard it on the show. It's awesome. It happens all the time that people mention it. We'll get this just a little mention or something, and it's only just begun. That's really what's neat about it.